Hi everyone, I'm just another Bernie tuber and I have a question for you. What happens if your favorite candidate wins? What if your least favorite candidate wins? The correct answer is, it shouldn't matter. In an earlier video about how we select our candidates, we looked at incentives, judgment, and responsiveness to the people as better criteria for selecting who we'd vote for. But once the election is over, we've got who we've got. How do we then make that president the best one they possibly can be? By constantly keeping our foot up their rear. After the 2008 election, African Americans were elated that a black man would become president. Aside from our collective worry that he would be assassinated before taking office or shortly thereafter, black Americans were hoping that Obama would enact policies that would lift us out of poverty and revitalize the country, starting with the neediest. The financial crisis was raging at the time, so we didn't put much pressure on President Obama to enact laws that specifically helped black people. But LGBT activists were breaking down the door. They got what they wanted. Then the Affordable Care Act was passed. It was good, but hadn't gone into effect yet. Detroit automakers were still getting bailed out, following after the bank bailouts. But African Americans largely sat on the sidelines, waiting for a moment of the president's time when he could begin to address our concerns. It was reported that President Obama pushed back against an explicitly black agenda because it wouldn't be politically palatable. Better to push them as policies that all would benefit from than to say black, black, black. I'm the President of the United States of America, not just Black America. Yet I remember how New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand was campaigning on a feminist platform. I thought to myself, I wish I could campaign for black issues the way Gillibrand campaigns for women's issues. Looking back, we didn't get that much from President Obama, even though we had expected him to deliver for us, being one of us and having built his platform in our community. So tell me, why is Donald Trump, the virulent bigot, the one who signed the First Step Act, a criminal justice reform act that helps black Americans? Why him? In a similar vein, why would a blatant racist like Lyndon Baines Johnson sign the landmark Civil Rights Act, knowing he would lose Southern Democrats to the Republican Party from then on? Why would Richard Nixon, the staunch anti-communist, be the one to open relations with China, Mao Zedong's China at that? Pressure. Whether from congressional colleagues or other countries or the people themselves, pressure bursts pipes. With enough effort, politicians break down from the immense pressure and the knowledge that they are being watched. First-term presidents and congresspeople are concerned with re-election. Final-term leaders are concerned with legacy and the opportunity to land on their feet after leaving office. As citizens, we should use their core interests as points of leverage. If he or she is our ideal candidate, we need to stay in contact with them to ensure that our voice isn't getting drowned out by other interest groups or by people within the federal bureaucracy who are resistant to change. If the candidate is far from ideal, we need to target our efforts to their core interests, especially if we aren't part of their core constituency. If a bigot is in office, we want to pressure them to enact laws that help the same people the leader hates, as if offering him or her the chance to prove they aren't as bigoted as everyone thought. Everyone likes to look good. Everyone wants to be loved and celebrated. Outright oppressors don't want to feel like oppressors. So offer them a way to not feel like oppressors. Martin Luther King got civil rights passed via public pressure and shaming the state for allowing the ongoing mistreatment of its black citizens. LBJ didn't care about black people, but wanted to feel like he contributed to something he knew was right, even if it meant he'd lose part of his base. The lack of pressure let Obama off the hook for addressing black needs directly and explicitly. This must not happen again, regardless of who gets elected. Stay in their face and give them a greater good, or at least a fig leaf they can strive for, and get what you need from them. After all, if Donald Trump can sign criminal justice reform, Joe Biden can sign student loan forgiveness. It starts with us being an omnipresent foghorn in the Oval Office and the halls of Congress, starting now. I appreciate your time watching this, and I hope that if you learned something from this, please consider liking and subscribing and sharing this video as I begin to ramp up production for this channel. But more than anything, don't just sit on this knowledge, go do something with it.